Hi everybody, Giselle Grenier here from artplace.ca. In today's video we're going to be creating a mixed media canvas, and I want to show you a couple different sizes. So we have 4x4, no sorry, I measured it and I forgot. 6x6, 8x8 and 10x10. So it's up to you how you want to, and you can even glue them like this to make it really stand out. I'm going to be upcycling an existing canvas. And because I don't really know what's on here, I'm pretty sure this is acrylics, and it looks like I covered up some other artwork. It's always best to prepare it with gesso. Now I'm not going to go over all the supplies first. I'm going to be bringing them in as I go through the project just to save some time. So I'm just using my number 8 bristle brush, and I'm just going to apply a rough coat of gesso, and I'm going to be applying this to the entire canvas. And then once I have that applied to the entire canvas, I'll let it dry. Always read the directions on the products that you're using for drying and curing times, especially if you're going to be giving your pieces away as gifts or selling them. You don't want your pieces to fall apart. And I'll just also do the sides, and then I'll let it dry. When letting it dry, I like to let it dry. I have a drying, like a little rack that Joe made me, and the slats are very thin and it covers so dust doesn't go on top of it. Okay, that's all dry now, and I'm going to put this aside. And they're going to work on a little frame. Now I picked up, actually Joe found this little frame at Michael's, and it's actually it's a holiday frame, silver and gold, $1.50 Canadian. And it's plastic, and I don't really care about any of this stuff. I just want to paint the frame. And I'm going to be using DecoArt Americana Decor chalky finish paints for the entire project, except for the collage medium. And this color is Reminisce, which is a really pretty pink. And this is their new branding, which I love much better. So I'm going to be using, let's see, are they all? Yeah, they're all new colors, I believe, that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to use a small little brush. And this doesn't need any priming, except, ding dong, take the cheapy little plastic frame out. And you know what? I don't even need that, because this is all going to be covered up. I wonder if I can pull that off. No, this is, oh wait. Deconstruct this frame. Wood? I think this might be wood. It looks like there's a wood grain on here, but very few things are made of wood now. It's all made of resin. Okay. Now, this doesn't need any priming. I'm just going to paint this using a dry brush. I didn't put the brush in water first. And with this paint, it's better to paint it with multiple thin layers, although usually you only need one. Multiple thin coats of paint instead of a thick paint. And this stuff sands really, really well. And it's going to have an ultra matte finish, chalky finish. The DecoArt introduced a new medium, chalky finish medium, that you can add to glossy paint to make your paint have a chalky finish to it, which is nice. Okay, so I'm going to continue on doing this, and I will likely give it another coat of paint once it's fully dried, and then when the final layer is curing, we're going to work on priming the canvas with our first base color. So I've got that on there, so I'm going to put that aside to let it sit for a little bit. And, whoops, and now I'm going to put a layer of keepsake on this. Oops, I just got paint all over me. I'm using a big 1-inch glaze brush, Aqualon glaze brush, and this one was damp. What this will also do is help, because there's so much texture on here, it'll help the paint go into all the crevices. And I am going to be applying 2 coats of paint to this. Although 1 coat is probably going to be enough. Okay, this is the second coat. And I found I've got a bubble on the canvas. It's actually something that's stuck there. Looks like the paint is peeled. There we go. All right, so put my brush and water. I'm going to put this aside to dry. And we'll cover this up. What I want to do now is varnish the frame, just to give it a little bit of extra protection. And because we're working with pink, let's get rid of all the green. So I'm thinking with this, I'm just going to use a small brush. And I don't like to shake varnish, although always read the directions on packaging. I like to give it a gentle stir. Now this is soft touch varnish, so it's going to have a not completely matte, but not satin, kind of like in between. Very soft, velvety feeling. So I like to stir, no bubbles. And although I have a particular brush I do all my varnishing with, it's too big. I use a large Majestic brush. This is only used for varnishing, but the frame is tiny, so I don't need a big brush. So I'll just apply a coat of varnish on this. And if you want, when you paint your little frame, depending on what you've got, you can sand it to distress it. I didn't want to. Make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies in there. And with varnish, a light coat is all you need. If you need to put more than 1 coat, make it thin, even layers. Don't put 1 heavy coat of varnish thinking you're going to save time. It doesn't work that way. The varnish won't dry properly, and it won't cure properly. So while the varnish is drying on that, I'm basically just getting everything prepared. That's pretty. And I'm going to paint this cardboard. Now, to rip up this cardboard, somebody would ask me, like, where do I buy my cardboard? I don't buy my cardboard anywhere. What I do, depending on where you get it, it comes in different shapes and sizes, and when you peel, I got this one here from the interest for a box of wine bottles. So all I did is basically just, you can cut or rip a piece off, doesn't matter. And then you just get started by pulling it. Okay, it takes a couple of minutes to get it going. And you peel as much as you can. Okay, and then when you get as much off as you can, then you just take tweezers, and I just get it started on the pieces that I can't pull up. So I just do that. And sometimes you'll rip more than you want to, and sometimes you'll get some really interesting shapes. So you just keep working at that, and you get this. And this took me about, I'd say about 5 minutes to put to get it to this way. The alternative is you buy corrugated cardboard already like this. And honestly, I've got so much of this stuff, I'd rather just use what I have. All right, so I'm going to use a bigger brush. I'm going to use a 3/4 inch brush, and I'll just take the rest off this. And I'm just going to apply a rough coat on this. And this is going to add some texture. I'm not going to use the whole piece, but I'd rather paint it all now instead of painting it when it's glued onto the canvas. Because this will take a little bit longer to dry because of all the little crevices. And you don't need to cover everything. You can leave some little pieces showing, which is really pretty. And if you happen to put on too much paint, then just take some sandpaper when it's dry and just give it a light sand. And that's what I want to show you. So I'm going to put a lot of paint on here. So I want to show you what it looks like when it's sanded. Because I want the ridges to be like this, where there's not a lot of paint. And here there's very thin, so I'm going to put a little bit more paint in here, like the actual cardboard where I tore it. So adding a bit more paint will also reinforce it. And I'll put some paint on the side. Not sure if I'm going to keep that top edge like that, so just in case, I'm going to paint this as well. All right, lots of paint on me. That's that. So I'm going to leave that. And I believe now, oh, I want to talk to you for a second. I want to talk to you for a second about how I made something. And so I'm going to be putting a little bird nest on my design. And although you can go to places, you know, I'll just say Michael's because Michael's is all I have here. You can go to Michael's, and I think it's $3.99 or $4.99 Canadian, and you can buy one already made. I handmade this one. Now I have a video where I created a much larger one, and I did this with a glue gun. I did start making one using watered down white glue and all that stuff, and after 5 days it's still wet. So I prefer using a glue gun to make all this. And all this is pieces of burlap, and I pulled the string out and formed it, and I glued some leaves and some flowers and some shells and some pearls for the eggs. So you can see that that's how big it is. Okay, so that's that. And so what we're going to do now, what I'm looking for, we're going to stencil, but now what I have to do is I kind of have to lay things out where things are going to be. And the cardboard is going to be here. So let's just pretend for now we're using this piece of cardboard. Oh, which, you know what, probably would have been better than the other one because I like that tear. Oh well. Too bad, so sad. And then the little nest is going to go right here. So I'm just laying stuff out. Now this would have also worked on a much larger canvas as well. And with these little burlap bags, I got these, Joe found these for me at Michael's, 2 for $1.50 Canadian. So you can put herbs in there. And then this is like a burlap ribbon. And I just used mixed media ink and just stamped, just wrote some random text. It'll just add a little bit of contrast. Okay, so now what I want to do, thinking that that's where the cardboard is going to go, I'm thinking it's going to be cut down here. So let's just pretend it's going to be something like that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I may repaint this because I like this. So now what I want to do is we're going to be stenciling, but I want to put some strips of dictionary paper in there too, to add as even more contrast and visual texture. If you're giving this as a gift, you may want to buy pre-printed paper. Deco-Art's got some really pretty, I think it's the Victorian papers. There's a text in there, or music paper. Because if, depending on what you're working with, watch the wording that's going in here. So I'm looking here, and there's a whole thing about the devil here. To me, it doesn't matter. And, you know, I'm not going to worry about it because it's going to be covered up in here. Just be careful what words are going to be in here. Okay? If you're giving it as a gift or selling it. We all have to be politically correct now. All right, so we're just going to cut this into some pieces. So just doing a dry fit, because once this stuff is glued down, I'm going to be stuck. And there won't be any room, I won't be able to do any fixing. Now, I don't like that pattern there. So what I'm going to do is go with something a bit straighter. Put something on the bottom. So I'm thinking that. Come on. I don't want them to line up perfectly. So I'm thinking something like that. This is going to be covered with a picture. Whoops. So something like this. And my quote, that's going to be covered up, and then the quote will be there. So this is going to leave some beautiful room for some texture with the stencil. Now, once you have everything dry fit, if you're not sure, but what, you know, if you're going to lose anything, take a picture. That way you'll know where everything goes. Alrighty. Now I can stencil first, or I can put the book paper on first. And I think I'm going to put the book paper on first. And this is Decoupage Matte Finish. This will also act as a sealer. And because this is a mixed media piece, it doesn't really matter that I didn't seal it with the Americana Decor varnish, because there's so much stuff going on here that I can varnish it at the end. I can also wrap some paper all the way around to the sides, which is kind of nice sometimes. That's what I'm going to do in this case. Making sure that everything has a good seal on it. Let's see, what else have we got? This one. I'm going to put this sideways. Wrap it right around the canvas. So I'm deviating a little bit from my design because the word here is deviation. Like I planned that. Whether or not you want to actually put the paper right around the side of the canvas is completely up to you. And for these pieces, if you do them in like I'm not going to say assembly line, but if you like prep everything first, like do everything all at the same time, you can make a few. And these make for great fundraising gift items. I like doing stuff for the SPCA. There's a flower here called the devilfish. Oh no, that's a sea animal. Oh, we're not gonna put that there. Let's put that up here. Make sure that it's not completely aligned. That's just a composition thing that I learned when I was in school. Just, you don't want everything perfectly aligned, otherwise it's just boring. And we do not want our art to be boring. We want people to go, wow, that's really cool. And we'll put one more piece here, just like so. It is still super windy outside. You know, let's see, Friday, 2 days ago, we were outside in our shorts, and today we're wearing our winter coats. And we had snow. This weather is leaving not much to be desired. Okay, so just gonna get some rough placement here. I want to put one more piece right here. I can always add some stuff after, little pieces here and there, but I don't want the pieces to be so small because then it'll look spotty. There we go. So now I'm going to give it one more coat. And I'm going to let this dry for about a half an hour, more if I need. I'm going to make sure the battery is charged up in my new glue gun that Joe bought me. And I was just noticing the color that we're going to be using for some of the pieces is the same color as my glue gun. That's funny. All right, so I'm going to let that dry and let that sit, and by the time it comes out, that's going to dry. I think I'm actually going to paint this one as well. I'll do this off camera because I really like the shape of that, like super love. So I think I'm going to paint that. All right, I'll be back in about half an hour. All right, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. So now I'm taking, let's see, this one's Revive. Oh man, I feel like this house is going to blow away. And I'm just going to knock back this paper a little bit. Those are all on the side. And for this, I'm just putting horizontal and vertical strokes. And you guys will laugh when I show you the picture of what I picked to put in the frame. Joe's not going to be too happy about it. It just helps break up that stark green. See, much better. Still have to do the stenciling. I have to make sure that that's some good contrast there. So I'll make that a little bit darker, or a little bit lighter. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Make sure that that's... Still want to knock that down just a little bit. And this is also helpful when there's words on here that you really want to obscure. just put a little bit more paint because this stuff is opaque. I don't want the words to be the art. It's just there as the background. See the difference that made? Huge. And I used the number 8 Bristle Bright for that. And the good thing about this part, once everything's assembled, I can still then take a smaller bristle brush and come through and pick some you know, some areas that I really want to knock back some more. I'm going to dry this now. Now that these are dry, I'm going to let the canvas dry a bit. I'm going to grab some sandpaper just to show you. And the grit of the sandpaper will depend on what your piece looks like. So you start with the fine sandpaper, then work it up. So by doing this, I'm taking off just the paint that's on the top. And don't blow that because you don't want to get that in the air. See? So this one I can do the same thing. This one I didn't put as much paint on it. And you could also do the distressing by painting the cardboard one color, a contrasting color. So if you did it this green, then you could put like a really, really dark color, like a blue. And then when you sand, the blue would be removed, the green would be left over. See all that dust? You don't want to blow that in the air. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to put that aside. Get this piece. Okay, let's start doing some dry fitting. So I'm going to turn on the glue gun. Oh, I want to color this as well. This I want to be with a little bit of metallic. So let me just get out of the way here. Where did it go? There it is. I'm becoming partial to rose gold, except, yeah, I'll just use this one. I'm becoming partial to rose gold as this color because it is pinky, but it's not in your face pinky. So I'm just going to take a little bit on a cosmetic sponge and I'm just going to work the outside like that. And the quotes, you can make it anything you want. There we go, just something like that. I want it a little bit rougher than that. There we go. Here, like that. And this is a wax metallic. So once we have that on there, I'm going to take a soft cloth, clean cloth, and burnish it. And that will make it shiny, shinier, and it will also fuse it to the paper. It's water soluble. If you take what was on here, it's I could mix it up with a little brush. And put that there. All right, so there. And the way that I've got this is I can still fit some little ephemera and found pieces and stuff like that if I need to. No, I want it like that. I also have little extra leaves that I'm going to tuck underneath, so I'm going to dry fit that. There we go. I want to get rid of this piece. I don't mind stuff sticking out of the canvas. I actually think it looks really pretty. So I'm going to do the dry fit like that, but I don't want it to look like a star. There we go. Actually, this one might. There we are, like that. Okay. And I've got a shell here. And once you see this put together, it'll make a little bit more sense as to why I chose these pieces. Okay. Can't do the other part till this is glued down. And I want to save the good stuff to the end. What I'm going to do is once this is all set, then they're going to add a little bit, I may put some tags or tickets or something, but I'm going to be using this color here for some contrast. I'm not sure how bright I want that to be because I'm really liking what I have here. All right, so we'll take this off first. And that will go on after. So let's put this down first. Where's my, oh, I'll just use that as my guide. Real technical, eh? Fancy schmancy. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to stencil. I knew there was something that I had forgotten to do. Okay, I forgot to stencil this. Well, I'm not going to edit this out. I'll turn the glue gun off. I'm not going to edit this out because then you won't see how to fix it if it happens to you. I knew there was something. I knew there was something. Look at this. I'm thinking, what the heck am I going to do with this? All right. I honestly did forget to stencil it. So I'm going to use this one here. And you guys can't hear me, but I'm swearing in French right now in my brain. Alrighty. This is really bright. So we're going to keep this light to start. Yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. So just the swirls. And if I was ever so inclined, I would fold the stencil over and do the edges. This is going to be interesting. Because I'm doing it so light, you don't have to have the perfect edges on it. I don't want to stencil the cardboard though. And this, there's going to be something on here, but I'm going to stencil it anyways. Because you never know. It's not like I'm going to change my mind or anything, right? Ha! And if I wanted to do the sides, I'll basically just fold the stencil over and do that. I'm not going to bother with it right now. Put that aside. Put that in the water. Okay. Put the glue gun back on. Now I gotta do this all over again. Well, I know that the little bird's nest, that's staying. That's the one constant out of all of this. This has to stay up a little bit, and you'll know why when I actually do it. Like a little potato bag. Put that on there. And Okay, so that's there. Let's get this one fastened. That I'm going to do at the end. This I know is going to be in the middle. Right there. You don't even have to print. I found some beautiful printed burlap bags, and they're really expensive. And printed burlap strips, I should say, was really expensive. I thought, not necessary. Okay, this one here, again, it'll all make sense once I put it together. I can't let the glue come through. So it's going to go right there. All right. Totally makes sense once I put it together. Okay, that was there. And that was there. And it's probably changing. It's probably changing how I put the thing together. That's fine. Like I said, I could always tuck little pieces in after the fact. Flowers on the left. Overlap slightly. Beauty. And I put the burlap too low. I put the burlap too low. Okay, so I need to put something else under here. So add just even more texture. Don't need a lot. Just a little bit. I like that. I like that. There we go. Okay. You're going on top of here. And you're going on top of here. Perfect. I need one more little piece. We call these shims. And again, this will all make sense once you see what I'm going to be doing. Making sure that there's texture in here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It'll all make sense. This is all going to be covered, so it doesn't matter. Tuck that in there. Okay. Whoopsie. Oh, too much. It shifted. I'll have to do something else there. Which looks like water, so that's not so bad. Okay, that right there. It'll all make sense. And I'm filling it in with some glue because it'll not only glue it, but it'll create some depth so it'll stick out a little bit. Again, you'll know why. That little flower is going to go there once I put the frame in. All right, this whole piece is about Joe and I. I found this picture. Isn't that funny? Now, I don't like the plastic piece that came with this frame. Don't like it at all. So what I did is I'm doing a test on some scrap, and I tried some triple thick, and I don't like the way that that covered the photograph. And ideally what I would like to do is frame this and then pour some resin on top. And but until I can do that, this is going to be a temporary little fix here. So just for now, because I've got this, I can reprint the photo. And just for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack it. Because I will be able to take it apart. Just wanted to tack it. Because I do want to put something here. I'm going to try with the resin first and see. All right. And see, it's still a lot of bulk there, so I need to add something else in there. So let's do this. Another one of these. All right, so how that actually is quite nice. So let me get rid of these. Okay. The left part has to be higher. This has to be higher than this. Has to. And when this is actually finished, then I will glue the part down here, and I may add another piece. Yeah, that'll actually work out well. Okay, so I'm going to glue. What I should have done was I should have put the seashell is important. I'll have to find a different one. The clock is to resemble time, and I've got little flowers that are going to go in here. Little flowers and some sticks. The sticks represent our walks. There's a thorn, which I'll have to keep close to the canvas. Ideally, I would put fresh flowers in here. I'm going to be looking for some dried flowers. So the reason why this has to be higher, because now I'm building bulk in here. There's another thorn. And this is adding some bulk. Let's see. Oh, the cardboard's still in there. I forgot about that too. I forgot about that too. I want it where the sticks can stay. I don't care about that, but I want it to where I can actually remove the pieces quite easily. The thorn's got to go here. And yeah, so these are nice little placeholders. I like the color. Not quite the color of the frame. Oh, there's chaos. Little bugger. Make that higher. And these are not going to glue in because I may want to change them. Let's make sure that can, there we go. Like that. Nobody wants to see you. Nobody wants to see you. There we go. Now what I need to put something in here. It's kind of blank, so I'm thinking the nest, the seashells, all this represents stuff on our walks. Represents the craziness, the clock for the time that we've been together. We've been together for a really long time, and I gotta find something else that's part of us to put something in here. And I'm thinking it's got to do with something industrial. Something industrial. Oh, I like that. Oh, that shell fits right in there. That's going in there. The shells, because Joe is a big fan of the Bahamas. You're gonna jump again, aren't you? Yeah, you're gonna jump again, aren't you? If I could put a barbecue up here, I would. He's a big barbecue fanatic. No. I'm trying to think of a color or something that would actually work behind here. Or even maybe flowers or something. I'm not sure. So let me ponder this a little bit, and I'll come back when I figure something out. Okay, I finally figured everything out. So I took some scrolls and I painted them the same color. And I'm just going to add those in. And what this is doing is it's tying in the frame to the design. Kind of adding colors that are throughout the piece to tie everything in. I added a butterfly. Joe was probably one of the first shopping things we were at, and he found these butterflies for me. So I painted them with the Decorative Metallics Rose Gold, which is the liquid version of what I put around the quote. I also took some more scrolls and I painted them with the color that I put back here, which is that, what is it? That's Revive. Oh, darn, where was this? Was this here? I don't remember. Oops. Oh, well. I think that's where it was. And I'm going to move this. That's going to go right in here. So let's lift this up. Put that down there. And I'm only going to glue where it's touching. There. And what I'm doing is I'm leaving some spots where I can tuck some more stuff in there if I want to. I think everything's glued down now. Yep. And then the flowers, these I can actually glue in. I could glue them in if I were to leave this in there, but I'm not sure if I want to actually glue them in. But I'm really liking this arrangement just the way it is. I don't know if I want to change up those colors. So you know what? Let's make a commitment. Let's make a commitment. The only thing I won't tack down is the frame. Oh, and the button. And that'll tie in the white of these flowers. So we've got some blue, we've got the green, we've got the rose, got some metals in here. So everything that's in here means something to Joe and I. So I thought this would be a really nice gift. And I know who's going to end up getting it. His mom. All right. So that's it. I really hope that you enjoyed this. And you can see how you can put something together that's unique. You'd never be able to buy something like this at the store. I don't care where you would go. I am going to... There's something I need to do up here, but I'm going to leave that. I can see the glue. I could either do something, Joe's a big fan of gears, so I could either put some gears there. Just going to show you, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. It'll help cover up the glue. That's actually not bad. That's not bad. The only thing that's going in here is stuff that means something. Yeah, I may leave the gear in there. After I just said that I wasn't going to. There we go. Well, let's just leave it there for now and I'll see how if it grows on me. Alrighty, so I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love to see your version of something like this. So just take a canvas, take whatever you have in your stash. Don't buy anything special to do this other than possibly a frame and a little bird's nest, if that's what you want to put in there. Find things around the house that mean something to you and a loved one or family member or even a friend. Take your best friend and think of what's important to him or her and put that in there, and what makes like a common bond between the two of you. I absolutely love this. It's completely changed from where I had started, and that's usually how the art grows, is that as you're building stuff, you think, oh, what about this, and you start putting things together, and it just goes from there. And that's the way it is. You don't create art just to go, oh, I'm going to put A goes here, B goes here. It's all about what's in your heart, and that's what makes the art so special, is that it means something. So alrighty, I don't know where I'm going to sign it, but So if you have some pictures to share, please email them to me or share them in our private Facebook group. Links to both of those are on my website at artplace.ca. I would love to hear from you, your feedback. Comment below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss anything. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Even if it's not your type of design, just what do you think about the idea? And then think of incorporating your own pieces. All right, I'm going to go clean up because Joe just came home. I got to hide this. And I will figure out what to do in here. So until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.